What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Italian Football TV.
Just the two of us again.
Half the people are happy that they just see us. Half the people are not, that Antonio's not here. Guys, we're trying to bang out a podcast before, today, nice and early, and the rest of the crew was not available. So we said, all right, let's set up the camera angle a little bit different. Maybe people are going to enjoy this one.
Yeah,
I'm stuck here with you.
Exactly. It's the two of us. Anto's not here, so the people that want Anto probably clicked off. So thanks for joining in anyway. But we're gonna talk about the round. There was some excitement.
Wild.
It was fun.
I think Antonio's still out celebrating that Leao goal and dreaming of the derby win. But guys, let's get right into it. This is Mike. I know you haven't been following the Serie A for that long. You've been following it for, let's say, 10 years now, right? Since you were 15, 16.
About
in high school.
Yeah.
I will say, in my entire lifetime, I do not remember a single Serie A season that is as intense and crazy as this one. Genuinely, I never know what's going to happen in matches. Nothing is beginning to surprise me anymore. Even we just finished watching the Spezia match where Spezia nearly they could have even won the match in a crazy fashion. So many games are having an insane amount of goals, big comebacks, upsets, and I just feel so lucky that this year we're getting this kind of season, and it's the only league in the world that's actually having like a title race, Champions League spot, and a relegation battle.
Dude, do you realize all the other top 5 leagues are like done by like 10-point differences from the rest of the positions, and the Serie A is fighting not just for the Scudetto, but the Champions League, the European spots, and of course the relegation. So it's extra spicy.
It's just like a fun season.
Yeah.
Like I think that it's the first time that I'm realizing I'm getting people that are outside like the Serie A bubble that are like
talking about it.
That's cool. Like, what are we missing out on? Yeah. Hold up, I need to tune in because, like you said, you're watching the other leagues and you're like, all right, maybe there's still really good football there, but it's not as exciting and it's not as intense. And this weekend, it literally just did that again. Like it blew the race completely open. Inter is no longer in the lead for the Scudetto. They have one game less, but Milan is in first place. Now they're recording this after this round, after they tied with Napoli and Milan get this win.
Yeah.
And what a momentum shift, because I think even a couple of weeks ago, we knew it was exciting, right? But everyone on our table kept saying, yeah, but Inter's going to win. Now is the first time where I'm looking at even the performance of Napoli, the performances of Milan, and I'm saying to myself, there are matches where they can really go on and potentially win the Scudetto.
No, I agree. And just for Inter, I think I gave a lot of credit to Inter, and albeit they have an incredible squad and they're the reigning champions, but now I feel like they're not as invincible as I once thought.
I agree.
I feel like, they still have the most deepest roster, but there's some cracks in that, where a lot of teams are exploiting and they're finding ways to really give them a lot of trouble and a lot of run for their money. I mean, Napoli, if they finish with chances, especially in the first half, they could have very well won that game, and that goes to show Inter's having the first time this season having a little rough patch, and a lot of the teams are taking advantage of that. Not Juventus this round, but prior Milan, Napoli's been doing very good too overall, considering January just finished with AFCON and everything. But everyone was saying, as you're saying, Inter's gonna win. Now there's a lot more question marks altogether, and this league's Serie A is getting even more exciting than what we once thought.
For me, I'll just say I think Inter still is the best team, and I think they will go down as playing my favorite style. Just personally, like the way that I watch that team play, I really enjoy it. But it's like you said, it's normal. There's very few teams that are ever perfect in the world, right? And Inter was going through great moments for large period of the time, ever since like October, November. They really hit this stride where they seemed invincible. Like they seemed like nothing was going to stop them. And now for the first time, we're starting to even doubt their attack and Lautaro Martinez and Edin Dzeko, even though he did score. But their duo together, if in these tough moments they can pull themselves out. And I think that we saw that in the loss in the derby, but now also in this tie against Napoli. So that it blows it up. And also we have to remember that they're playing against Liverpool come this week, and we hope that they could help represent Serie A really well and do a great job at Liverpool. But it just adds to the pressure that they have, even though I still think they're the best team. Guys, listen, this is the craziest Serie A season that I can ever remember in my lifetime.
Literally.
We have 1 point separating first to third place, 3 teams that will all fight until the death for the Scudetto. We got Inter, we got Napoli, we got Milan. And then it doesn't stop there because there's an even crazier Champions League race where from 4th to 6th place, there's only 6 points. 4th to 7th place, there's only 6 points separating them. If you are not watching Serie A,
Incredible.
you are simply missing out.
Calcio's the gift that keeps on giving, guys. And Marco, I think we have a great deal for them too. We're not just going to leave them empty-handed like that. What kind of people would we be, right?
We are not, because if you are in America, you could stream all of the Serie A matches and Champions League, by the way, which is coming back this weekend, on Paramount Plus, which is our premium sponsor of IFTV.
That's right.
Of basically all of our content, because they love the IFTV community. They love you guys.
Especially.
And we have a deal for them. Because you cannot miss Serie A. You cannot. If you never watched it, you have to make sure you do this. The top of our description, the link at the top of our description, you will get Paramount Plus, a 7-day free trial, and then $4.99 a month after that.
Wow.
That's not bad.
And Marco, if you do get it for the year, you do save 16% on that. And
Since when do you know how to count?
I really don't, but for Paramount, I actually put some numbers together. I actually got a calculator because this is a deal you cannot beat. You get all this culture action, you get the European games, you get the TV shows, you get the movies, live TV. I mean,
Amazing Race. I watch Amazing Race, guys. Tune into
you?
Amazing Race. The season's actually really good.
I gotta check
There's a
that
couple
out.
people left.
But Marco, even if you go to that's cheaper than if you go get a coffee at so many of these hippie coffee shops over here.
We got a lot of those in Brooklyn.
So you already make your money back in an instant just watching a couple of games. It's extraordinary.
It's true. Guys, they're supporting us. We need to support them. Paramount Plus is our sponsor. Link in the top of the description. Wherever you are, make sure you go and buy your subscription.
And back to the podcast.
There we go. Let's start off with that game because for me, that was the big one. We kept saying that this weekend we were going to learn a lot about the Serie A, and I think we learned two things. I think we learned one, what we just said, that Napoli and Milan can genuinely win the Scudetto this year. And I would no longer be surprised. I think I would have been surprised having said this a couple months ago. And number two, Juventus is out of this Scudetto potential race and crazy hope for it. We'll get to the second part later. Napoli played unbelievable the first half.
Yeah.
They were fantastic, brilliant. They scored on a penalty kick early on, rightfully so, a penalty kick. De Vrij's form has really dipped as of late.
Yeah.
And Napoli, they looked possessed. Like, I kept telling myself, who is this Napoli that has a fire in their eyes that they want to win everything? And they were doing amazing with Lobotka, who's a low-key, such a great player and a bowler.
Beast.
Koulibaly came back from African Cup of Nations. He tasted winning a little bit. He tasted the lifting of the trophy with Senegal. Congrats to him. And he said, I want this again. He played unbelievable. There was one time he had a tackle that I said to myself, okay, number one, there's no way he's going to get that tackle. He slid in, won the ball. It was about to go out for a corner kick. He stopped it from going to a corner kick. He was a man on a mission. And then you pair him with Rachmani, who's doing really well this season. And Napoli showed the squad they are. With all that being said, though, second half came out slow. Dzeko, a little bit of a rebound, takes a shot, 1-1. And for me, towards that second half, that end of the second half, it was more Inter than it was Napoli. So again, kind of like the derby, a tale of two halves, where the first half Napoli was really good, and then second half Inter was.
No, I agree with you on that. It was kind of written in the stars where if Napoli weren't going to get a second goal, it was almost likely that they weren't going to win that game because a lot of these games they go like that, man. If you don't take your chances, it's going to be very hard to defend. The reigning champs, who have the most goals in the league still currently. And like you said, great half from Napoli, but they were not clinical enough. They played incredible, fun to watch football from Spalletti. I tip my hat to them.
Really good football, man.
Because it's looking good, and he really brought in a do or die attitude to Napoli, and I really respect that because a lot of people say, "Oh, Spalletti's not the top coach. Spalletti's not this, not that," but he's really showing that he transformed with the culture in Naples, and he's really embracing it, and it's showing a lot in these players because they have each other's back.
They got the
exactly. They got the unity over there.
You know what I love about him the most? He's going with the right mentality. He's going with honey rather than vinegar, right? You see him happy. Like, I listened to his press conference. The guy said we are so happy we've had a smile on our face for the entire week. This was before the game. He said even when we were sleeping, we probably had a smile on our face. When you go into this with this love and this passion and embracing the culture in the city,
you're not as pressured.
I think that magic creates, and I felt that magic. I will say, though, Insigne, by the way, we should say that he overtook Maradona for all-time goal scoring
For
in
Napoli,
Napoli,
yeah.
116.
Incredible.
6 goals, all of them are penalty kicks, though. No goals from open play for Insigne. But listen, it is what it is. I was a little bit nervous for him on the penalty kick.
Me
I'm not
too.
gonna lie.
He hit it nicely.
I remember
Handanovic
his
went the
miss
right
against
side, but he
Juventus.
got it.
No, he hit it perfect.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say, 2 other topics that I would want to hit. The first one, I was disappointed, though, in both coaches. Maybe I shouldn't say disappointed. I was disappointed. I'm going to stick with that. The substitutions. I felt like they both had 2 guys on the bench that I wanted to see early on. I wanted to see Alexis Sanchez, who for me deserved to start over Lautaro Martinez this match because he's been playing better and he's a more dangerous threat than Lautaro at this current moment. I think it's now 9 games that Lautaro hasn't scored from open play. He just has a penalty kick. For me, when you wear the number 10 of Inter is a heavy shirt. You need to come out and perform, especially when your team needs you. So they put him in the 84th minute. And Mertens for Napoli, I thought it was screaming for Mertens way earlier in the match. I think it did come back to both of these sides, looking at each other and respecting each other and saying, hey, these guys are really good. I don't want to completely overexpose myself because if we lose this game, then it's like a nightmare. When you tie it, it's kind of like both were rather happy. I know there's a lot of Napoli fans that are pissed off out there about the tie, but I still think that a tie is a really good result. And for Inter, it's natural. Like, you're not going to win every single game. As good as you are, it's unrealistic to imagine that. And it's only very special teams that come out in history that are always able to win. It's a normal reaction. I think that, yeah, for Inter fans, I don't know how much there is to be worried. You still have a game that you're going to have to make up against Bologna. And the destiny is in your hands. And that's a better outcome than you could have expected. But the pressure is on.
A lot more pressure
without
is
Bastoni,
on.
too.
A lot more, and hopefully they're hoping Bastoni could make it for the Liverpool game for the people that are asking. So there's some optimism in that. But I do agree with the point with I would have sat out Lautaro just to show that no spot is guaranteed for anyone. And I feel like Alexis, whenever he plays, man, he fights for every ball. He's such a pest to the defenders, and he always high press. I really thought he should have started that match. We know Dzeko works hard. With Inzaghi right now, I think this is gonna show. This is gonna show what kind of coach he is. If he can take his team now out of the trenches, which it feels like, because there's a lot of teams breathing on his neck. I want to see how he reacts to this, because Gaetano, your dad, specifically isn't he's not the biggest fan of Inzaghi. So I want to see if he can do what a big coach could do. And this has a lot to tell. The next few games is going to be big for Inter.
So let's preview before we move on to who really won this match, because I think there's somebody who did win this match, even though it was a tie. Let's preview the Champions League a little bit. This match, Inter against Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool is, we know, one of the best teams in the world. They've got great attacking ability. They're coached extremely well. Everyone and their mother has Liverpool winning this game. And again, I always speak from our perspective. We live in New York, where everyone around us is just a Premier League fan by nature. Boom, right away, they just ride on the tail horse of a Liverpool. Respect if you're really a Liverpool fan, you've been there for a long time. But I'm just saying, from our perspective, what we deal with, I think that this match is more difficult for Liverpool than they expect. I spoke to some of my friends that support the club, and they said the one thing that they probably could struggle with is their attacking. They haven't been as great going forward. And considering Inter's defense is extremely strong, hopefully that's one place that we'll be able to counter them. And I think also the element of surprise, and maybe they're not expecting Inter to be this good. The one thing I will say is that Inter, it's not the bitter taste in my mouth is that we're not getting that best Inter in the best moment. Yes, Bastoni's coming back, but they're coming off of a couple of games where momentum is not there. It's not everything is clicking as it was, and I wish it could have been that. But the first game is in Italy. You need to go out there with a good mentality. And I think, contrary to Antonio Conte, who has a different style and approach in Champions League, I believe that Inzaghi's style fits better. They've had like 16 different goal scorers this season. I think that helps out in Europe, and he likes to go for it. He wants to keep pushing forward and not calculate like, oh, we're up 1-0, let's sit back. We're at 0-0, we'll think about the next leg.
I definitely think Inzaghi is a little bit more, well, a lot more versatile with his Inter squad than Conte was. So I think Inter obviously is going to be on the back foot here, especially with their main man Barella, who's going to be suspended for the first leg, which is going to be very tough because, you know, to me, he makes everything happen in that midfield. And I do think that element of surprise, I think that's a great point that you brought up on that sense. They could definitely do some damage. A lot of people are counting Inter out for this one.
So bad.
That's what
There's
I'm saying.
nothing. I'm holding back.
Yeah.
I'm literally. I just want to be. I just want to be right. I have like a list of people that I'm ready to message. And I just want a Serie A team to knock them out.
Inter definitely do have the quality. It's how much it'll show up, and it is they're not the most informed that they have. If they played them a couple of months ago, I'd be so much more confident. It's just a strange
We
little...
watched Liverpool, though, against Milan. And yes, I know Liverpool won the match. For me, Inter's a better team than Milan is, especially in the moment that they played Milan. They still
and Milan weren't playing well either that time.
They really weren't.
Yeah.
So that gives me a little bit of confidence. It's not that same Liverpool of a couple years ago that when they won the Champions League, I looked at them and said, okay,
but they're still
wrap it up,
still a top team.
They're a top team, but
not as strong.
I'm okay with playing.
I agree.
I like this matchup. I don't hate it. I'm reading the probables. Vidal's expected to stay in for Barella. That's what they're saying now. Who gives some experience.
Liability, too, sometimes.
A little bit. And they're saying still he has the doubt between Lautaro and Sanchez, who he starts. It's a difficult one. I think that if Lautaro does start, he really needs to step up and need to be a great player. I'm confident with our Italian teams, though. I think that we're going to prove them well, and let's go. Let's hope Inter can show us and put on a good display for Serie A. All the momentum we're having as a league right now, if we would be able to stop a Liverpool, I think that pushes us. It's been a magical year. I keep saying it to myself. It feels like everything is clicking. And I don't know if maybe we did good in another life, that finally it's starting to pay off, but we're getting the most exciting league. You know, we got 3-4 teams that are challenging for the league.
Yeah.
And for some reason in my mind, maybe it's my heart speaking that an Italian team is going to go forward. Let's see.
Let's see. First leg in Italy, regardless, at the Meazza. So let's see. I'm having positive vibes regardless for this game.
The real winners of this game, I would say, is Milan.
Yeah.
I think that they were loving this. They won 1-0 against Sampdoria. Yeah. Leao scored a goal that was phenomenal.
You got to talk about Maignan.
Leao first, phenomenal. The 3 touches, Mike. 3 touches.
That was great.
First one to control the ball and beat his man. The second one to angle and make sure the defender could not come. And the third one to finish it.
That was incredible.
That is fantastic. The guy is playing with a smile on his face. I think it's his 7th goal this season. And what a player he's turning into.
That goal is going to be one of the highlights of his career when he retires and be like, yo, remember that goal? And it's definitely going to stick because it was just so beautiful. It was
Especially
just so beautiful.
If they did go on and win the Scudetto and you think about the pressure that was in this moment. Maignan, take it away.
I mean, Maignan, first of all, Donnarumma, he was great, but I don't think Milan fans have really missed a goalkeeper. Dude, Maignan's looking so good, and for a fraction of the salary.
And he can play with his feet.
He can play with, bro. He's good. He is so much, like, I never seen him play, obviously, at Lille, but he is so good. He's, you're not, nervous with him. He's comfortable with his hands, and he doesn't bring any drama, which is another great thing also. Leao, another player. When he came in, I always thought this guy's so raw. He's so raw. He needs time. He doesn't have any finishing. This season in particular, he took a lot of responsibility, and I do want to give a lot of credit. I feel like Zlatan helped him mature a lot, even though he hasn't been playing a lot. I think in the locker room, him as a player, just he could take on a man. He can fool so many players. His speed causes so many problems, and now he's improving on his finishing capabilities, which I always thought was the biggest weakness of his. Dude, the way he's improving, it's incredible. And the only bad thing about this is he's Portuguese, and he's probably going to be playing against Italy next month.
I spoke to somebody that's Portuguese. They said that he doesn't get called up.
Dude, when Fernando Santos, Portugal's coach, sees while he's playing, I'm sure he's going to get the call up.
I don't know. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. But dude, he's blossoming.
I thought I heard that he might not even get called up. Anyway, that's besides the matter. The thing that impresses me the most, and I'm going to say it, I'll say it, Milan is the most team. as a team. They are the most united.
I would say
I watch them, and I've been watching even their content behind the scenes of the derby. The content that Milan's putting out on social media, by the way. My applause to them. They're killing it. They're ahead of a lot of teams. But what I was saying, I feel that sense of everybody fighting for themselves. There was a couple moments where they're just winning the ball. One player loses the ball, and I know this is what you're supposed to do in a team, but it doesn't often happen. They're possessed to win the ball back immediately and help their teammate out who just took a step back or who made a mistake. And I'm seeing that from everybody. And even a player like Kalulu, who was so doubted. The things that I heard about Kalulu before the derby, I mean, it was like we put you in defense over there. And now all of a sudden,
what are we saying?
Everyone's like, look how good Kalulu is. That comes because the team chemistry is so good. Everyone is fighting for each other. It's not that there's just these starters. The rest get out of here. Even Romagnoli is playing really good.
Surprisingly,
I will say Sampdoria didn't play. They didn't come out. They didn't even try to play. So to be fair on that side. And the other thing, I got a hot take. This might piss some people off. I'm sorry, I roll up the sleeves just in case somebody comes.
That's a spicy one for sure.
Milan plays better with Giroud than Ibrahimovic. I watch Giroud's play. He does so much. Forget the goals.
Off the
he
ball?
does so much setting up his teammates. And he runs like a maniac. He's constantly running. There's a lot of times he heads the ball down to set his teammates up in the right position. He's more mobile. And the thing that, and of course this is nitpicking, right? I'm not saying Ibra's bad, but I think that when Ibra's on, when he doesn't score, it's kind of like he doesn't contribute as much to a team, right? When he scores, it's great.
Yeah.
But it's a great thing. This is every big team, every team that wants to compete for something, you need to have two really good players in a squad. So it's a great, problem to have. Yeah. But for me, I'm playing in an important match. I'm playing Giroud just because I feel like he helps the overall team a lot better than Ibrahimovic does.
I get what you're saying there. There's also some factors, age, of course, and Ibra hasn't really gotten consistent minutes in terms of not being injured in between them. But Ibra brings, I think he's the one that brings the team together. Even though on the field he might not be as effective in terms of stats with Giroud, he's like a second coach, and I don't think him not coming in, I don't think Milan would be in this position at all.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I remember reading his interview where he said when he first arrived, nobody was running. And he said that he got everybody to listen to him and everyone was running and training except Leao. He said Leao was the only one that took time, and then he eventually got it. But that's something that Ibra brings. Pioli has even said that sometimes I don't need to speak in the locker room. Yeah. Zlatan goes and he says the right thing. So 100%. I'm just saying, on the 11, I'm seeing a lot from Giroud that I didn't expect. I expected me in the beginning of the season to say Ibra has to be the starter.
I didn't think Giroud would. To be honest, I didn't think Giroud would be as good and as impactful as he's been.
That's a nicer way of saying it.
But to be honest, maybe he found a calling over here. I don't know how effective he was at Chelsea. Maybe he wasn't the most, but I feel like maybe Pioli gave him a lot more responsibility, and even maybe Zlatan said, "Listen, I might not be playing as many games as I want. I want to give you, you're one of the most experienced. You've been around. You've been to all these leagues. I gotta put you as a leader and setting an example." And I think everything's really blending together for Milan. And right now, even though Inter have a game in hand, Milan psychologically just being in first, it gives you belief, man. And if you give a team that fights, that does everything, a little spark of belief, they could do it. There's only 3 months left in the Scudetto. It's not that much time. The Scudetto is almost over. The Campionato is almost done. It's not that much of a marathon anymore. It's getting closer to the finish line, so it could very well be possible, and especially because Inter are having those stubbles and slips and stuff. You never know what could happen. Inter's still favorites, but you never know in this league.
Speaking of the finish line, when we get to the end of the season, this is a direct question to you.
Oh boy,
are Roma gonna regret bringing Mourinho in? They tied 2-2 to Sassuolo.
Yeah,
they are lacking a lot of character, and the team is not looking like it's really improved. Will they regret bringing Mourinho in for such a high salary?
I mean, I don't think they're going to regret it, only because I never like judging players or coaches just after one season. I think it's going to take more than a season to really let it percolate in your head and be like, was this the right move? I think this is more of an an experimental year, especially with a new ownership with Roma, and I think the fans just got to be really patient because let's be realistic. You didn't expect Roma to be in the top 4 in the beginning of the season, which is fine. You're building.
The argument is, are you getting better? Are you actually building?
I don't think you can mid-season. I don't think it's something that you can look at. That's something after the season is completed. That's where you weigh the pros and cons. For me, still, I don't think Mourinho did anything. He could have done better, but you don't evaluate it now. It's too early for me to even look at something. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, and I think that they're almost exactly where I would have imagined them. They're beyond. Inter, Milan, Napoli, Juventus, Atalanta.
And quality really.
Finishing above Lazio. But I do understand the Roma fans, and I've seen the turn now. I've seen the turn on Mourinho from the fans that I was not expecting. I thought that everyone was going to be under the same impression of, yeah, guys, this is a year that we're not going to go and really see too much of a difference.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing them mad at the style that they're playing. And that there's no improvements, and that the team is even lacking passes. They're lacking determination. They're lacking looking like a group. And then he's also said, he's called out lots of players saying that they're Serie A players, right? This is what Corriere says that he called them, that they're lacking courage, that they should not be playing at this level. Now, if that has merit, I can't say because we're not in the locker room. But I do think that they don't have a great crop of players. Should he be doing better? Yes, I agree with that. He should be doing better. But when you got Mourinho, you commit to this 3 years, and for me, I'm allowing somebody to come into this job and change the culture of a team. He has to instill a mentality into them that's not easy. Now, is it the same Mourinho of the past? No. I'm not comparing him to when he was during the Triplete. It's a different football. It's a different style. It's a different group.
Era.
He's reinventing himself with the group of Roma players that he has. So I'm with you. I understand that people will be mad at us for saying this, but I'm still giving Mourinho until the end of the season, see what happens in the transfer market, and then we'll determine next year where they need to get closer to getting to that 4th spot. The team, the club needs to back him up. The one thing I'll say is it would be very stupid of the club as an organization, and they'll look like fools if they do this, if they did sack Mourinho, or if they did move on, or if he decides to leave.
Yeah, I agree.
It would look stupid.
I agree.
Because it would be a lack of self-awareness of what you got yourself into. When you got Mourinho, I did not expect that much difference from right now.
The Friedkin group, I'm pretty optimistic about them. It seems like they are backing him in terms of a financial point of view, because in the Mercato, for the most part, Mourinho got what he asked for. He got Maitland-Niles, he got Oliveira, and so far they're paying dividends. They are in the starting lineup, and I think in summer, I think he's gonna get a few more players, and I'm sure before they sign, they talked about they want to build a project. So I don't think they'll flip a switch and be like, okay.
I hope.
I hope so too, but I'm also optimistic. More than just hoping, I'm optimistic that Roma are looking to build for the future, and it's not going to be anything short term.
The other thing I'll say is we have to give a lot of credit to Sassuolo. They were without Raspadori, they were without Scamacca, and some of the things that I read and I feel like it lacks so much perspective. This is a Sassuolo side that has stolen points from everybody. I think they beat Milan, they beat Juventus. I think they tied Napoli. They got results. They got results against them and Lazio too. All the teams I mentioned, I don't remember who's the win and who's the losses, but they got results against all of those sides. Yeah. So Roma, yes, you're allowed to be within those teams that get it stolen from. And I get that we're looking at an overall picture, but for today's result, Sassuolo steals from a lot of sides. I give credit to Dionisi as well because he's without a lot of his players. The one thing I'll say is just he's constantly showing to me that he motivates his team for the big teams, and then they'll lose 4-0 to Sampdoria. You have a good group of players. You have young players who maybe they want to play in these big matches to show themselves on this world stage, like even Maxime Lopez, who we've been talking about for over a year. We've loved this player.
French baller.
He's really starting to develop as a young talent. If you have not watched Maxime Lopez, guys, you got to watch him because he's fantastic. But for me, they need to do better in the smaller games if they want to get into a European spot next year.
I know, I agree. I think Sassuolo, a perfect nickname would be a giant killer for them. I think that's more of a basketball term or more of an American sports term. But they're the team that have the motivation problems, ego problems too. They only get motivated for those big games. Just last week, they got stomped by Sampdoria 4-0. Absolutely. annihilated by them. So it's one of those topsy-turvy teams. But you know, if Sassuolo's playing a top 6 team, you're not going to miss that game. You're going to be like, let's get a run. They always give them a run for their money. And yeah, like you said, Scamacca wasn't playing. Raspadori wasn't playing either, suspended. So there's a lot to go with that. They are fun to watch. They always remind me of Atalanta on a budget, like a smaller kind of Atalanta, because they play that fun, attractive football. Not the best defense, but you see some goals, and they produce players, man. You're talking about Maxime Lopez, also Fratesi that took Locatelli's spot. He's really bright over there. My boy Kyriakopoulos playing left back. I'm always watching the games because of him. But they're just a fun team to watch, and especially against the top 6 times. Dionisi overtaken De Zerbi, who went to Ukraine. It's as if he didn't leave. He has the same philosophy as him as a coach.
That comes from the club.
What was that?
That comes from the club.
I mean, it's kind of ingrained in them, but he kind of overtook them, and they had that same identity. The only thing is, if they do want to push for that European spot, they do have to wake up a little bit when they do play more of the mid-table to the bottom half of the teams. But, yeah.
All right, boys. Manscaped is back sponsoring our IFTV podcast, and we got you covered. Use code IFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. It is as simple as that. We are getting down to the wire of getting the Scudetto. Mike, do you know what Scudetto champions do?
Tell us, Marco.
They take care of their body because they are champions. Guys, be a champion. Be a Scudetto champion. Get yourself the new Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. I'm using it all the time, even throughout winter. I do not care. I always keep myself nice and clean.
There we go.
Even Michael, I compliment you every once in a while. You've gotten in better shape. I see the comments like, oh, look at his biceps. He's looking good. He's thinned out. You know, if you shave down now your chest, your stomach, you're going to look more ripped.
I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't done anything differently. I was just using Manscaped.
So you don't have to work out.
I mean, I haven't ran a single mile, to be honest. Manscaped's making me look jacked over here, looking at me in better shape. But regardless, since we do have this amazing partnership, I have been using Manscaped a lot more, and does make a huge difference. And there's a bunch of new features that I do like. The skin-safe technology is definitely one, because let's be honest, we all have those incidents that we never want to talk about, but it happens.
You mentioned those a lot.
Exactly. But Manscaped, it hasn't happened once, and I'm so happy with it. And let's not forget, you could do this in the shower, clean, safe, everything goes down the drain. You could forget about it, and it's just that easy. Mike. Yeah, maybe.
I don't think it works like that.
So far, it's pretty good. And it also has a flashlight attached to it, so you can get every little hair, Marco. It does not mess around here. And another thing that I didn't think I needed, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. I didn't think I needed. I thought I just needed like a cologne for my wrist, my neck, and I was good. But dude, I used this, and it was one of those things that it's like you never knew you needed till you used it.
There we go.
So incredible stuff.
And the 4th generation performance package from Manscaped is here. It's the perfect combination for everything that Manscaped has. Guys, again, 20% off plus free shipping using code IFTV. It is that simple. The link is in the top of the description. One more time. 20% off, free shipping, code IFTV. They are supporting us. Guys, go on and support them. It's such an easy gift to give to any of your friends. Now, let's get back to the podcast. Last game, one of the biggest ones of the round 2, Atalanta Juventus.
Oh, boy.
Wild match that, I've seen a lot of different opinions on this game as well. Definitely different than what I was expecting. Atalanta have a terrible home record. If they played all of their games at home, they would finish in 12th place.
Probably.
No, it's a fact. They would.
Oh, currently?
Their table.
Oh, yeah, the thing.
If they played all of their games at home, they would be in 12th place. I wasn't just pulling it out of
I thought you were just saying that. Okay.
If they played all of their teams, if they played all of their games away, they would be in first place. I got
you. So you're saying if the whole table was all home games, they would be in 12th?
And away, they would be first.
That's insane.
They were without Zapata. They were without Musso. They were without Palomino, who he doesn't make a big difference. They were without all these guys with a poor home record. They went up 1-0 with Malinovsky, and I give them credit for the style and structure that they played. I think that they played to the best of their abilities. It's not that it wasn't a great Atalanta that I would say, all right, this is the team that we watch. But even despite the amount of players that they missed, Sportiello proved his quality. He made some big saves. They showed that why you can't ride them out for the Champions League, for that Champions League spot, even without those players. The last second of the match, Juventus get a corner kick. Boom. Danilo scores a goal. And before the corner kick happened, I said, this is the corner. This decides the season. Juventus loses this match. I don't care how many games they have left. They're done with Champions League. You're done. Atalanta beat you in their home.
No.
You're not going overtopping them, and they still had a game in hand.
I mean,
the point saves Juventus' hope of a Champions League. But we will say, I know coming into this match, a lot of people saying, oh, if they win, they're going to go to the Scudetto. I thought Juventus were going to win this match. It's over. The hope of trying to win a Scudetto is over. If you have this match in front of you, you have to win it. They're not there. Juventus are not there.
I think you are being a little harsh on them. Even if they did lose, which I believe they probably should have, I don't think now a 1 point difference would make that much of a difference. Personally, for me,
it's 2 points.
They got a draw.
Yeah. So they would have another 2 points if they won.
No, you're saying a draw and a loss. You said it would be if they lost.
Okay, if they lost, Champions League, that's it.
Yeah.
If they won, they would have had a hope for a Scudetto.
Okay, I'm saying for the draw now. Is it
over? No. Absolutely not. They're still in for Champions League.
Oh, so for 1 point is what I'm
Champions
saying.
League.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, but I said for the Scudetto.
Oh, for the Scudetto.
Yeah. Scudetto's done.
That's a different piece.
There's no, they're not coming back.
I want to talk about, I counted Atalanta out 100%. I was like, oh, this is perfect for Juve. Juve are doing well. Vlahovic is doing great. Atalanta, the complete opposite. They're hitting their rough patch, where other Serie A teams hit it a few months prior. Injuries. And I was like, oh, this is begging for a Vlahovic score a couple of goals, finish it and keep that distance from Atalanta. But dude, Atalanta, first of all, that rocket. Second of all, that Hateboer open net. Third of all, that Muriel open net. They could have bro, to be honest, they missed 2 open nets.
Juventus had a lot of chances too. Vlahovic was in front of the net. Juventus had a lot of chances that they could have scored.
Yeah, but he shot it right at him, right?
Okay. Sportiello pulled a masterclass.
Okay, but Hateboer missed in front of the net. Muriel missed an open net. I'm just saying, if things just went normally, Atalanta would have got the 3 points and would have been like, oh, Juve messed up. But Danilo saved the day. And I really think Atalanta, a lot of people don't think Atalanta are a big team, but the past few seasons that they qualified for Champions League, I think that really cemented at least their mentality of, look, we don't have the best squad. We're going to grind it out and we're going to show to everyone we're here to stay. We're a Champions League team. And that's what they showed me. And they definitely proved me wrong because they were seconds away from winning. And, as I said, with what happened. And there's a lot of question marks for me with Juventus because they knew what was on the line.
They're just
and
not there yet.
not.
But they're not there yet.
They did not convince me at all. And they should have beat this
because
team.
They're not there. They're not at the level. Napoli, Milan, and Inter are in a separate category. They are at a different level than where Juventus and Atalanta are, and you saw that. I think everyone got overly excited where Juventus were winning these games. They were picking up momentum. They have Vlahovic, they got Zaccaria, and the word Scudetto started to appear in the front cover.
Yeah.
I think people got excited of where their reality actually is. Now, the thing that I will say is I think Juventus played, for their standards, they played a really good game. Like for where they've played all year.
That's fair.
They still haven't been a top 4 team. The thing that I'm disappointed in,
true.
2 big things, 2 massive things. Number one, going out with that midfield from the start of Rabiot, McKennie, and Locatelli makes 0 sense. I don't care what you say, defensively, tactic. No. Mm-hmm. It never makes sense. Those 3 players do not complement each other well. Do I like McKennie? I like McKennie a lot. Do I like Locatelli? I like Locatelli a lot. Rabiot, he has his moments. But those 3 together don't work. It was begging for, number one, Locatelli is wasted as a regista. I constantly keep saying it. He needs to play in a box-to-box role where he could go up and provide goals. You need Artur or Zaccaria to play as a defensive midfielder and provide that balance. It was calling for them to be switched. The second thing is the substitutions from Allegri. I mean, what were you waiting for?
That was really bad.
What Cuadrado played 10 minutes.
First of all, Cuadrado, let's say straight,
and he set up the goal.
Cuadrado should be a starter, and if he's not a starter, you got to give him at least 30 minutes because the past few seasons he's been one of the only players that made it work for Juve.
The corner kick? He got the corner kick at the end.
He won it.
I'm pretty sure it was him that earned the corner kick.
Bro, he makes things happen. He's so underrated.
But giving him 10 minutes.
No, that's disrespectful.
And then the midfield never changed. So for me, tactically, that was a mistake from Allegri. in my opinion. And I guess the disappointment for there comes in because I think that if they did switch that, I think that they could have pushed and got a win. They do get lucky at the end because they score this goal from Danilo. And that gave me reminiscence of the Juventus of old, that no matter what, they're never out. And I kept saying, the big thing that we kept talking about amongst our friend group, I said Juventus can't lose this match. There was no way with everything on display that they could lose the match.
Disappointing.
I wasn't 100% convinced that they could win it. I think that in the end, considering everything, a tie was a fair result for both sides. Considering the chances, considering the way that each team played, I think maybe the way that it comes doesn't feel like fair because they score in the last second and they miss open net.
Yeah.
But overall, looking over, I think a tie was fair. Two controversial moments.
Okay.
Chesney, do you think it was a red card or
I
no?
mean,
we had this explained to us by a professional referee. She agreed with the call. She said that it was the right decision. I thought Chesney should have been given a yellow card because they played advantage. Muriel messed up. There were still Locatelli and I think Bonucci back there, so I don't think it was a red card. I think it still should have been a yellow card for a foul afterwards. That's my only thing.
I thought my first scenario was, that's a straight red. 100% that's a red. He's gonna get. They're gonna give it. But then I did see that. Yeah, he wasn't really last man, but he came crushing like a bulldozer. Regardless, so maybe it was fair. It was fair that they played advantage and they gave him a shot, which we always say give advantage. But overall, I do think it was a correct decision.
The other one was Hatabor, who had a high studs. Now that one again, I thought that one was a straight. I thought it was going to be a straight red card.
Very dangerous.
On Deshillo.
That looked very
dangerous. His leg is as high as it goes. Again, we had a professional referee, Christina Uncle. She said it was the right call. She said a yellow card was the right call.
That seems tough.
For me, I thought it was more, but whatever. I don't want to get into the moments of.
And I just want to say the goal of the year contender for Malinovsky.
Goal of that? I don't know. There's been a lot of good goals.
Contender. You gotta give it a contender.
It was a 6 shot. Yo, we had some good goals in Serie A.
Bro, the way he hits
we had this weekend that I was looking at and I said, my God, Leao was
good. Leao was
one of the best goals. Technically, that's just so hard to do.
That was very hard. I'm not saying a winner. I'm just putting in that category where we can vote afterwards. There is some good. But
it was a fantastic.
The thing with Malinovsky though, he's so consistent with those long range shots. Why did they give him too much space?
I like him a lot.
They're gonna
outside the box. There's few players that are better than him at striking a ball. There was nothing Chesney could have done about it. And I think if Chesney would have put his hand on it,
I think his hand would have left.
Yeah, his hand would have broke.
Fabian's also a good one outside the box too. But
it's different. He's finesse.
But Malinovsky,
he's finesse.
If you for the baseball, the batting ranges where it hits, where you can hit the thing, see how powerful it is. I think Malinovsky probably has the strongest shot in the league.
Probably.
They gotta measure that. They gotta check that out.
Probably stats on
It's gotta be so strong.
Let's just why don't we just go over the matches next week? Let's preview them real quick. We got the Derby della Mole on Friday. We're gonna be doing a studio show on Paramount Plus if anyone wants to watch. That'll be live. It'll be fun. Finally, the Derby della Mole, where it feels like Juventus might not just run away with it. And I know it's weird saying because Torino just lost 2-1 to Venezia, but Torino and Juric's side is a team that likes to play. Brecolo has been a really good player for them. Sanabria scores a bunch of goals.
Pobega's going to be...
Bremer in the back is a really strong defender. By the way, Bremer, underrated player. Watch out for him.
And I was going to say Pobega, he had just had nasal surgery, so he's going to be with a mask like Oshiman. They're saying he's going to be playing with one of those masks.
Juventus, again, a moment that you can't slip up. This is a game, never really... It means more to Torino than it does to Juventus. They pray for getting some points. For Juventus, it's just been a foregone conclusion that they're going to win. And I think that, again, Friday, every game for Juventus becomes a final towards the end of the season because missing out on Champions League with the squad that you have would be a total disaster and nightmare. And I think that Friday, Juventus will win.
The first leg, I remember Juventus winning at the end, but up to that point where I think Juric started putting defensive players, up to that point, that's when they got scared. So I think Juric learned from that, and I think Torino's going to grab a draw.
Tie? That would be a disaster for Juventus if they tie.
It would.
Sampdoria, Empoli. Sampdoria, again, they did not show up against Milan, but then they'll beat 4-0.
Sassuolo
in the match before. Empoli is a side that plays really good football. They got Pinamonti, who has 9 goals in the Serie A. Same amount as Scamacca. I know we made a post about that. I'll go with a draw.
I'm going to say Sampdoria have to win this game, 1-0.
Hopefully we see Giovinco. That would be nice.
Yep.
Roma-Verona.
Oh, that's a very tough.
It's a tough match.
One.
Verona's an extremely attacking side. I think they have 13 goals in their last 6 matches.
And Barak's lighting it up over there.
They're also an up and down side. They started really great when Tudor came in, and then they started to dip. They got back last week against Udinese. I think it was 4-0. Roma, again, you're playing at home. You're playing against Verona side. I think that momentum would be really low if you don't get a win. So I'll go with a Roma win, but a high-scoring match between these. I can see like a 3-2 or 3-2, something like that.
Roma can't lose. Roma has to win this game. There's gonna be, or Mourinho is gonna be a hot seat. Yeah, 2-0 for Roma.
Salernitana, Milan. Salernitana today, they're sacked Colantuono. They were thinking about bringing in Andrea Pirlo. I was praying that Pirlo learned the word no since the last time that he was asked to take a job. I think it would be a disaster if he did. But I think you saw they getting
Davide Nicola, the relegation master.
Crotone one time.
He's very close to signing.
He will not save Salernitana from going down.
They're not too far. Put your money
where your mouth is.
I'm not saying it.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I'm a dreamer, guys. But no, I'm not saying it's gonna happen.
Never.
I'm just saying there's a chance. It's not like crazy. Well, it's a little crazy.
Milan will win.
Milan's
they can't slip up.
Milan's definitely
got this. They know what's at their disposal.
Maignan assist. I'm calling it.
He's got the same amount of assists as Rabiot this season.
I'm not that surprised.
Fiorentina, Atalanta, strong match. Fiorentina just came off a 2-1 win to Spezia, we were just watching. But,
late winner.
They were attacking, they were going forward, but even at one point risk.
They're playing at the Franchi. They're not playing at in Bergamo. Better for Atalanta.
They love their away record. I think that Atalanta, after everything that they just did to get a point against Juventus, you slip up to Fiorentina would be a big mess. But again, this weekend actually means a lot.
That's a tough
If
one.
Juventus win on Friday, the pressure on Atalanta strikes. And Fiorentina are a side that like to cause upset. They like to play a good style with Italiano. Piontek scored his first goal in Serie A. Tricky fixture. I'm going to go with the tie.
Ooh, that's a tough. I think Fiorentina could definitely do a surprise, but I gotta put my money at Atalanta. They gotta secure that top 4 if they want to do anything. So they need a win here.
Venezia, Genoa. This is just a relegation battle. Blessing joined Genoa. 3 ties in a row. Everybody's obsessed with this guy's style. I don't see it. I mean, he ties all the
just
bottom.
A mentality.
Yeah, great mentality. You got three ties when you need a win. Venezia, I think Venezia is going to win this match. I hope that they win this match. I'm on Venezia's side. I want them to stay up in Serie A. I say Venezia win. Direct battle though between these two teams. If one of them lose, you really you understand that you're going to go to Serie B. Most likely you're going to go to Serie B.
I say Blessing's going to get another draw, 1-1.
You know what? I feel like it's a draw. I'm kind of more so hoping for Venezia. Inter Sassuolo.
Woo!
Another strong match. Wow, we got some attacking games. Every game in Serie A becomes attacking. Inter cannot slip up, even though Sassuolo are the giant killers. They didn't get any points against Inter in the season. They're one of the big teams that they couldn't get anything against. Inter, you did too much to get to this point. This would be a total nightmare if they slipped up in this match. I don't think it would be crazy if Sassuolo pulled something out of their bag. It's going to be a hard-fought match. This one, I feel like, is going to go into the 90th minute, but 2-1 Inter will win.
Might I add, Brozovic is suspended for this game.
Oh, that's right.
He got a yellow card.
Is as well.
Yeah, Bastoni's. Does that change? Does that change anything for you?
No, they're too good.
Yeah.
Actually, Brozovic is an amazing player.
He is. He's good. He does a lot of dirty work.
No. What do you say? What's the prediction?
Inter can't lose.
Yeah.
They can't. They just can't. Inter win. Yeah, they can.
Udinese, Lazio win. They got this.
Lazio's winning.
Cagliari, Napoli. Even though Cagliari have started to wake up
fire.
all of a sudden, Napoli again. You've come too far to slip up against Cagliari, and Napoli has the quality. They will beat Cagliari.
Yeah, 3-1 Napoli.
Did that rhyme? Napoli has the quality. They will beat Cagliari. Quality, Cagliari.
Yeah,
kinda.
a little bit.
I'm a poet. I didn't even know it. You know where that's from? Anyone know where that's from?
No.
Bologna, Spezia.
Ooh. Bologna has been so lackluster,
style.
bro.
They play such a boring, terrible style.
Mihanovic got to wake up over there. The only thing that's cool is watching his kicks every weekend.
Spezia's going to win. Spezia play a nice style. I think they're going to win.
Nah, it's going to be 2-2.
2-2. All right. Guys, you can catch all the action on Paramount Plus, which is our premium sponsor. Make sure link is in the top of the description. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. Leave a comment. Leave your thoughts. Say that we're wrong, we're right, whatever you want to tell us. You have something else to add?
I mean, the European games. We got the Champions League. We got the Europa League, guys. Do not miss out. We are streaming. We're streaming Inter, and then we're going to do the Napoli game on Thursday. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We got to do that one.
All right, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Subscribe. Like the video. As always, we'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, guys.